Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Last Cast Adventures. I am your host, Daniel, and in this week's episode I'm actually fishing, this is more up in Tallahasse since I've moved up here recently, and I'm fishing this lake called Lake Iamonia. You wouldn't really know it by the name and by the spelling, but apparently it's called Lake Iamonia. Anyway, I go out in the kayak to just kind of test my luck because when I first went there, I saw there were a lot of bass popping, so I wanted to see if maybe I could get a bass. So I ended up getting more than just one. So stick around and see what I catch. Thanks guys for watching. So originally, I had thought putting the GoPro in front of me was going to be a good idea, but as it turned out, it was too far away from me and I didn't want to exactly yell while I'm fishing. So I kind of had this footage and I thought, well, whatever, use it as this intro as I'm doing now. When I'm out fishing, I like to have more than just one rod for obvious reasons. That way I can kind of cover a couple different bases without having to actually switch out the whole time. So in this case, I've got a popper fly on my fly rod, and then I have a paddle tail swim bait, which is a little bit more subsurface, and then I also have a frog on top because there was a lot of lily pads too. As time went on, I found that every time I was casting to bass in open water, they wouldn't bite. Don't know why, it just wasn't working. So I actually decided to go into the lily pads here because they were so thick that I figured I could stay stationary and actually be able to cast out into the open where they were hitting and they wouldn't know where I was.
Alright, grab a bait fish one. There we go. Ready? Wait for it. There we go. There she is. Hey. Knew that was gonna work. Is that beautiful? You're pretty. You're probably about what? 14 inches? Whoop. Okay. Good to go. So, what I just did there was snuck up on a school bass that were busting some bait. I took mine, had no idea it was here, and just brought it through right where they were. And when I felt the weight, set the hook. They seem to be a bit more finicky than most bass I'm used to catching. So, I had to do something a little different. Catch them off guard. I've been busting in this section a lot, so if I can figure out how to repeatedly catch them, it would be a very, very good day indeed.
Busting everywhere except on my fly.
Tell me that wasn't appealing.
Like I literally put it right there and I don't know. They're just not interested. Doesn't make any sense. know if the same thing applies to anyone else, but for me, when it comes to catching fish, or bass mainly, just because there's always lily pads there, it's really not that fun to catch them in lily pads because they get stuck. They tangle up trying to get away, or you end up bringing in half the plant with you. And it's just like, what's the fun in that? I mean, unless it's a big beast, but you don't normally catch big beasts unless you're like professional or something, but I am not a professional bass fisherman. I just catch them sometimes. So, I don't know. I don't see the fun in it.
But, yeah, another little guy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Come on, baby. Yeah, man, you look twice your size when you hit.
See what I mean? That was a much better fight. He was in the canal portion of it, like the open water, and he was actually able to fight. Much better than lily pads.
Little cutie. Oh, the rain is real light right now. Huh. That was cool. Oh, he's bigger than I thought he was. There she is. He wanted that fish real bad. There's no questions asked about that one. Sweet. Bass number 4. Dadgum, these guys are good. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, that's not even fair. That's not fair at all. He was on it. And the wind blew me into him.
So that was the closest I had had to having a bass bite on my fly rod or one of the other rods. The only bait that actually worked was that paddle tail swim bait. You can pick them up at like Walmart or Bass Pro. They're, I don't know, 1.5 2 inches long. They work great for both fresh and saltwater. So definitely something good to have when the bait is a little bit smaller. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. Please like it, share it, and subscribe it. Thanks for watching.